AITA for being the reason my grandparents refused to help my dad anymore and laughing when he and his wife complained about it. My mom died when I was 60 and was 7. She left me an inheritance that my dad was put in charge of. The money was supposed to be for my future and nobody was supposed to touch it unless I really needed it, and it was pretty specific. I read through it 5 months ago when shit went down. My dad got married again when I was 10, and he has an 8-year-old stepdaughter and now a 4-year-old daughter with his wife Louise. My half-sister was diagnosed with a rare condition when she was 2. It was always clear something was wrong, but they had a really hard time figuring out what it was. Doctors would say she'd be fine when she was older. This condition isn't life-threatening, like she won't die from it, but it could potentially leave her permanently disabled in a bad way. A few months ago they found out about this, hard to get into treatment for it. But it was expensive. There was ways to get help paying for it, but that takes longer. So my dad decided he would use the inheritance mom left me to pay for it. He tried asking me, but he was going to do it anyway, and when I said no he told me as much. Then he shamed me for saying no, for putting college before the health of my half-sister. Louise was in the room with us, but she wasn't talking before I said no. She asked me how I could look at my half-sister, at the life she will have if we don't do something, and say no. I told my dad I would never forgive him if he took the money. After I read her will, grandparents had a copy. I brought up the fact it was only for my needs, it could be spent before. He told me mom was dead and he hoped she'd understand. I told him I never would. He told me I'd understand when I'm older. I told him I hated him, and I told Louise she better never speak to me again because I found it disgusting she'd encourage stealing from me and taking my mom's money.